In the heart of the Middle East, an unsettling reality unfolds as the hostage crisis in Gaza continues to unfold in a precarious manner. The tenuous situation sees 236 hostages held by Hamas, a figure that includes innocent women and children, as well as elderly men and foreign nationals. In a glimmer of hope, the release of 50 Israeli women and children has begun, marking the first phase in this complex negotiation process. However, the road to freedom is far from straightforward. The release of elderly men and foreign national men is yet to commence, with the negotiations expected to be fraught with challenges. Furthermore, some hostages are scattered across other groups and individuals, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. The delay in the release of hostages is attributed to minor implementation details, and the lack of names provided by Hamas, further exacerbating an already tense situation. As the hostage deal remains unsigned, the tension in the region continues to escalate, with millions of eyes around the world closely watching. The plight of these hostages is a stark reminder of the ongoing crisis in Gaza, a reality that continues to unsettle the world every passing day. Beyond the immediate crisis, the reverberating effects of the hostage situation have far-reaching implications. As we speak, Israel is poised for a ground invasion into the heart of Gaza. This aggressive response is a reaction to the relentless attacks and hostage situations instigated by Hamas. Yet the Biden administration is urging caution, advising Israel to delay the invasion, allowing time for negotiations and humanitarian aid deliveries. Meanwhile, the United States military is preparing for potential attacks on their forces once the ground invasion begins. This is a chess game of high stakes where moves must be calculated and countermeasures prepared. But amid the political maneuvering and military posturing, the human cost of this conflict cannot be overstated. Thousands in Gaza are attempting to flee before the ground offensive starts. The humanitarian situation is dire, with fear and uncertainty casting a long shadow over the region. In the face of such adversity, the people of Gaza continue to hope for a resolution, for peace to return. In the midst of the crisis, the voices from the ground echo with resilience and hope. Among these voices is a 13-year-old boy named Mohammed. Despite the devastating loss of a leg in an Israeli airstrike, his spirit remains indomitable. Mohammed dreams of a day when the skies above him are free of the threat of looming conflict, and he hopes for a permanent truce. This longing for peace is not only a child's wish, it is a shared sentiment that resonates among the many voices from the ground, a chorus ringing with the collective yearning for an end to violence and suffering. But peace is not just a dream, it is a negotiation. It is a dialogue that involves not only the people on the ground, but also the leaders who wield the power to make that dream a reality. On one side of this dialogue we find Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He asserts that the hostage deal will not include the release of murderers, standing firm on security measures for his people. On the other side, we hear from Hamas spokesman Dr. Ghazi Hamad. He denies receiving outside support for their attacks on Israel, claiming they only targeted the Israeli military. He places the blame on successive Israeli governments for the current conflict, citing the occupation of Palestinian territories and harsh measures against Palestinians. As the voices from the ground continue to resonate, the world watches on, hoping for a peaceful resolution. As the situation in Gaza continues to evolve, the path forward remains uncertain. The haze of the crisis is thick, but amidst it all, glimmers of possible future scenarios begin to take shape. One such scenario is the potential negotiation for the release of hostages. Over 200 individuals are currently held captive, among them women, children, and even foreign nationals. The wheels are already in motion for the release of 50 Israeli women and children, but the road to freedom for the remaining captives is fraught with complexities. The process is slow and tedious, hindered by minor implementation details and the lack of names provided by Hamas. Yet despite these hurdles, the hope for their safe release persists. Simultaneously, the looming shadow of an Israeli ground invasion adds another layer of uncertainty. The invasion, once announced, has been delayed, largely due to international pressure and the need for careful negotiation and delivery of humanitarian aid. The potential implications of this are far-reaching, not just for Israel and Gaza, but for the entire region and the world at large. And then we have the international community, their role in this crisis more crucial than ever. The Biden administration, for instance, is closely monitoring the situation. The decisions made in the coming days could significantly impact international relations, underscoring the importance of a diplomatic resolution to the crisis. The path forward is uncertain, but the hope for peace remains. As the situation continues to evolve, the world watches on, hoping for a peaceful resolution to the Gaza crisis.